Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm gonna do some commentary on a more current wrestling shoot. Conrad and Jim Ross are talking about the um, the first Starcade and how Sting. The fans are the ones who obviously pick who's over, and the fans really embrace Sting. And they commented earlier on how everybody else from the UWF that was brought in was kind of at a lower level than the guys in Crockett, except for Sting. And they're talking about the first Starcast. They're talking about the first Clash of Champions, where Sting main evented Ric Flair. And I want to listen to this because I actually watched this live instead of WrestleMania. My parents didn't order me WrestleMania 4. I had to watch Clash of the Champions. Needless to say, I was not happy about it. I would have much rather watched WrestleMania 4. In hindsight, looking back on it, as an adult, I probably would have chosen Clash of the Champions.
And of course, we know where this is headed. Sting is going to be the challenger at the very first Clash of the Champions special. It's live on TBS. And this is the Crockett Counter Strike, the brainchild of Dusty Rhodes. They want to mess with our pay-per-view. We'll mess with them back. We'll give away a badass show live on TBS for free. Heads up with WrestleMania. And who better to main event than the Nature Boy Ric Flair? His opponent, as you know, is Sting. They go to a 45-minute time limit draw. This is where a lot of people believe that they made Sting. But even bigger than that is this is a major opportunity for Crockett to have a live show, heads up with WrestleMania, a super card, if you will. And we're going to be testing our production and everything else. So you've got 3.5 stars is what Meltzer would say for the overall opportunity of this live experience, saying, hey, this is their first time. They'll tighten some things up, but he could not love the main event anymore. Well, maybe he could, a 1/4 star. He gave it 4 3/4 stars. This is interesting because we're trying to bring in some star power. So we have guys at a judging table. You've got a fellow from Leave It to Beaver. You got Jason Hervey for the Wonder Years.
Now, as a kid, I didn't know I mean, I heard of Leave It to Beaver, but to this day, I still have never sat through and watched an entire episode of Leave It to Beaver. I don't know if I've even seen a clip of the show. So for me, I didn't give a shit about Leave It to Beaver. I don't understand why he was even there. I'm not sure why Jason Hervey was there. For those of you who want to be like, oh yeah, he was partner with Eric Bischoff. No, he was a kid. Like he wasn't a partner yet, so I don't know what the heck was going on with that with these judges. I think they were just trying to get like any kind of celebrities that they could get, and this, I guess, was the best they could do.
You got a Penthouse Pet of the Year. I mean, this is kind of crazy what we're doing, but we're pulling out all the stops here. What do you remember of that very first night we saw Sting and Ric Flair?
We had those judges, and they were worthless. You know, I don't say worthless. It wasn't necessary.
No, they were worthless. I definitely they were worthless.
Yeah, we didn't need the judges. Let's go a time limit draw, call it a day, and that's what happened. They had Rick and Sting had a great match. That's the first time I worked with Shivani on that level. 2 play-by-play guys calling the show, and that was a big thrill for me and Anthony as well. You ask him today, and he'll say the same thing. We had a chance to be a part of history there, and it was fun doing it.
It was an incredible show, an incredible match, and the result we probably knew going in. It's not likely that they're going to crown Sting the new champion, but he's still a made man. And it turns out they're going to be looking to do it again because it was such a huge success. Sting and Ric Flair on TBS did a 14.5. How strong is that?
It must have made people want to watch. People wanted to watch that exhibition. So, and it told us that Sting was just about ready.
14.5. Like, it was so. Times are different now with television ratings, and you're not going to see wrestling draw 14.5 ever again. on cable television. 14.5 is very big. Like that's a huge rating. Back in 1989, drawing a 14.5 is a lot easier though. There was like cable television was like 30, 40 channels at the most back then. And TBS was one of the channel. It was the superstation for a reason. It was on every cable company in the country, so it had the most carriage had most customers it possibly could. It is on the most basic tier. Actually, some parts of the country treated TBS like it was a premium channel where you had to subscribe to it. In other parts of the country, like where I lived, TBS was just part of your basic cable package. I didn't realize this until I was an adult when I had a roommate from Florida who told me no, he didn't get TBS as a kid because it was treated as a premium channel. So I didn't realize that. When I was a kid, Disney Channel was treated that way. And now it's part of the basic whatever. But anyway.
It's pretty crazy to think, we're talking about, what a big success this thing was. We're going to be in more than 3.1 million homes for the Clash of the Champions. It is a huge success, and everybody's talking about Sting coming out of this thing. And I know people are excited about Sting, but respectfully, if Sting had almost any other opponent that night, I don't know that they'd be talking about it the same way.
No, of course
Flair,
not.
right? Yeah.
The Flair was a straw that started to drink. Certainly, our problem was we had nobody to follow up on it with. We have a strong heel for Sting to face. We had them, but they weren't ready. I could see Sting in a lot of long-term programs, especially against Barry Windham or Tully Blanchard, another guy that would.
Going back to the rating, SmackDown draws 1.5 million viewers per week, which is huge. It's not any bigger than any other sporting event, though. 3 million viewers is in 1989, obviously twice as many viewers tuned in for Clash of the Champions than do for SmackDown every week. So I just wanted to put that in perspective. I don't have a ratings number for SmackDown, but I just have the number of viewers, and it was 1.74 million. So this was the week before WrestleMania, obviously the night before WrestleMania, and it was up from the previous week of 1.5 million, and it was second behind the NBA playoffs between the Heat and the Atlanta Hawks, which that kind of boggles my mind that those two garbage teams outdrew SmackDown. But it is what it is. Like that garbage game drew more than SmackDown. But a 0.55 rating that was in a certain demographic. The big demographic that they want. And I think AEW draws like half that. So 1.7, I think AEW usually draws between 700,000 and 800,000 viewers. They're not even drawing 1 million viewers anymore on their television. Because people watch AEW in different ways. They watch it online, they stream it. I'm not saying that AEW has the big audience like WWE does. They have a younger audience and they consume AEW differently.
Been great. We just didn't have them ready. And Flair was, of course, ready for anybody because he was a made guy. He was the champ, and he had a title. But he was good. We just didn't have enough depth there. We weren't prepared for the success. But I always thought that Sting, as he was elevated, was in a better spot than people thought he was. He was more ready than people thought.
I want to mention that rating I talked about, a 14.5. That was the Atlanta rating for the main event. Nationally, Flair and Sting get an incredible rating, 7.1. It's a 15 share.
Okay, so the national rating was different than the Atlanta rating. Still a lot of viewers. Still a lot of viewers. The number doesn't change. The number of viewers, the 3 million viewers, that doesn't change.
And the last 15 minutes of that match had 3,447,000 homes watching the show. Meanwhile, WrestleMania was seen, well, in less than 1 million homes. So, granted, WWF made more money that night, but more people saw Jim Crockett Promotions that night. Overall, Clash of the Champions has to be viewed as a rousing success. So maybe
Yes.
we're disappointed in Starrcade, but boy, we more than made up for it with Clash, didn't we?
Yeah, totally. That should be Jim Ross's answer.
Yeah, we turned some heads, opened some eyes, and that was a great match. They delivered exactly what we needed for them to do.
Yeah, like I said, I watched Clash of the Champions. My parents would not order WrestleMania, and I didn't. Back then, there was no internet. I can't remember if Primetime Wrestling did a rundown of WrestleMania the following Monday, or if I had to wait until Superstars or Wrestling Challenge or Maple Leaf Wrestling, whatever the heck I was watching on Saturday, if I had to wait to find out what happened at WrestleMania. I think I had to wait till Saturday because in school I was in second grade, and the kid that I would talk about wrestling with was not in my class, and there was no other kids in my class that ordered WrestleMania. So I had to wait an entire week before I even knew what happened at WrestleMania. And that was a bummer. My grandparents didn't watch it at the time, I guess. I don't know. I used to go to their house to watch the pay-per-views. They had one of those boxes. For whatever reason, I didn't go to their house for WrestleMania 4. I watched Clash of the Champions. I remember watching Clash of the Champions too. Oh, man. But, yeah, Clash of the Champions really, I would say, even put WCW on the map. As far as like a competitor, it wasn't WCW yet, but they really showed that, no, we're just as big as WWF. For Jim Ross to say they didn't have the depth, though, was kind of interesting, because if you look at the 88 roster for Jim Crockett Promotions, that's a stacked roster. So I don't know. But anyway, I don't know, that's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to watch this clip and give my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.